not to work with a publicist and how to work with a publicist.
Okay, let's get on the show. It'll be so much better.
Oh my goodness, you guys, we've been live on the show. But good Monday morning, you guys. You got a glimpse of what it's like in the backstage or back room before we go live.
They'll get more.
Oh, yeah. Heated conversations this lovely Monday morning. Well, we hope, at least I hope, and I'm sure Valerie hopes, that everywhere else is cooler than it is here in Texas because it's hot as hell. Yes. We had a brief fall light. We were like, "Ooh, it's like nice." Fall came early.
That's called post-hurricane.
Oh, but it was all like, "Ooh, fall came early this year. We're so excited!" And then the state of Texas, like, "Ha, gotcha!" And now it's like 110 degrees, and we're all melting. Okay, but besides that, you guys listening to Author Talk with me, Aimee, Russell, Valerie, and you guys, Mickey is back. He's been dying to come back, and so we have allowed Mickey back this time. You guys
allowed him back.
Goodness. Oh, let me tell you about it. Well, before we get into the heated conversation in which Russell and Mickey were having backstage, well, I'm going to tell you all about
that. Was all lies to the audience. It's all lies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys. No, but let's dive into our weekends. So my weekend was a lot more kind of laid back and relaxed this weekend. So you guys all know, and if you don't know, I am battling and coming to terms with my IC diagnosis, and some weeks and months are better than others. September has been a rather difficult month for me. So I was out of commission this weekend. And so Josh took the girls to a fall festival and had a lot of fun. And I just kind of hung out and took things easy here around the house. So it was really boring for me, but I will say, and I can say this because he does not listen to my shows, but Josh was trying to make me feel better and I needed to get my hair done. And so I went and bought everything, like the developer and everything, to actually my hair and everything and how is Josh. I'm sure I've cut out, but Josh is the one that did my hair. So I told him not to quit his day job. Okay, he should not quit his day job at all. But it was really nice. He was trying to make me feel a little bit better. So I hope you guys all.
I feel so sorry for Josh this weekend.
He's a good guy.
I made him stay up late and everything way past his bedtime.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, I made him stay up past his bedtime. Okay, this boy goes to bed at 9 o'clock, and I made him stay up till 11 to do my hair. So don't pour Josh him.
Poor Josh.
All. But I hope all of you guys had better weekend. The struggle is real. But Russell, let's dive into your weekend because you had such a fabulous one. So tell us about your weekend.
So we took a plane over the hurricane. So it was a little bumpy. And we went to Houston for the weekend. Right now I'm in the mountains of Georgia, and I got to tell you, it's cold here. It's so nice. But it was my 3-year-old twin granddaughter's birthday, 3-year-old birthday. And they both look exactly the same. They're genetically identical. And it was their 3-year-old birthday, and their older sister that's 6. And we went to the older sister's game on Saturday in Houston. It was 100 degrees and 99% humidity. I thought I was going to die.
I bet. That's the time.
And it's such a Houston. The thing about Houstonians that the rest of the world they do not recognize is it's no big deal. Everyone was out there sitting next to the field in the sun, but there was lots of umbrellas and canopies. Everyone was ready for it, and everyone stuck it out. The kids played for an hour in that temperature. And those kids are going to be tough because you can't play soccer and that not toughen up a little bit. Exactly. So that was my weekend. My weekend was waiting on my granddaughters and doing what my daughter told me.
You are a smart man. Yes.
Yeah, and a good grandfather.
I know,
a great grandfather.
You are a smart man, Russell. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. Well, what did everybody else do this weekend? Who wants to go?
I was pretty low key. I was getting over ear infection and a sinus infection. And I guess in my cloudy head, I was washing dishes Friday morning and I stabbed myself in the hand with a knife.
Valerie.
I had to get a stitch, and it's so annoying. I'm so mad at myself for being just but
you stabbed yourself hard enough that you had to get a stitch. Oh my goodness!
It jabbed in my hand, and I was like, what just happened? Oh my gosh. And I was like, luckily I was going to the doctor for my sinus ear thing, and I was like, hey, by the way, can you help with this? And he was like,
myself. Oh, Valerie, you
just laying low.
I'm not going to say anything hateful like that was stupid or something. I'm not going to do it.
I told myself it was
I'm
stupid.
being nice today, so I'm not going to say any stupid jokes.
Stupid. I was just being stupid and just not.
Can I say one more thing, Valerie?
Yes.
I'm a germaphobe, okay? Can I tell you what it's like to be around 3 little kids? I was freaking out. We went to the Walgreens and got this Z stuff that you're supposed to pump in your nose because it's supposed to ward off. I was going crazy with that stuff this weekend. I tell you what, there is nothing as germy as little kids. It's it freaked me out.
Russell, how can you be a germaphobe and go to a 3-year-old's birthday party?
Yeah.
I mean, my kids are grown.
Well, at least I got a tetanus shot, so I'm good for 10 years.
Hey, okay,
I needed a tetanus shot from this weekend from holding my granddaughters.
I'm telling you, kids are.
I'm sure they'll give you one.
No, kids are gross. I always warn people when they come in my house. It was clean this morning, but by the end of the day, I've just given up. You know, I'm just like, I'm tired. I cleaned for 3 hours. You don't even see it. I'm out. You know, like, no. So yes, kids are gross, especially just elementary kids are gross. Oh, God, it's just gross. Yeah.
And they're sick all the time. Hey,
mine has been doing good.
And do they sneeze and snot on you? Oh my God.
Russell, how can you do that when you had my kids have thrown up on me, they have sneezed on me. I mean, from when they were babies. I mean, that's not surprising.
Me too.
I
still have scars in my life like it. Let's get to Mickey before I puke.
Mickey, what did you do this weekend?
So, as everybody here knows, I don't sleep. I get up at 4 a.m. I go to midnight every day, Monday through Sunday. I did a lot of productive work this weekend. Yes, I kind of booked you a couple of things, Russell, but not to the extent I wanted. But I'm just letting you know. But I ended up like diarizing my CD collection because I don't stream. I'm all about physical media. So I did that. And then I read some comic books. And I spent some time with my cats, but it was like Valerie said, it was very, very low key. But unlike Valerie, I did not stab my hand doing anything.
I'm so happy for you.
That was a good thing.
So happy for you.
Didn't have to call the nurses over to look after me, but it was just, staying productive and enjoying my CD collection and reading some comics and stuff.
You guys, my mom's on, and my mom always mentions this to me. So before I even tell you, my mom wants to know, did everyone make their bed today? My mom knows the answer to this. No, Mom, I did not make my bed. Okay,
I did.
That's because you're the baby in the family, and you were the one that she did not make her bed, so it's her fault.
I
made my bed. Doesn't mean it stayed made.
Mom, Russell blames you for me not making my bed. I just don't. I'm not even going to get into this conversation, okay? Because you're going to get right back in it. And then if you are a toss and turn sleeper like Josh is, it just is messy. And I don't know. It's just a whole thing. I have done more things before AuthorTalk this morning, and it does not include making my bed. But because my mom has put it on here, you bet your ass I'm going to go after this and go make my bed.
Well, you're the baby. She never made you make your bed.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. You guys are just
It's true. And when she comments, she put it below. I want to see it.
She did. Oh, I don't know. She did tell everybody good morning, though. Yeah. So her and my dad just got back from their Alaskan cruise. They saw some humpback whales and glaciers and everything. So they had a really nice and fun time. But, she did say there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed. And that I feel like that's true. Russell, yes, my mom says that you nailed it, Russell.
Yes. See, she even knows she was the one responsible. I knew that because I know you. But that's another story. I need to thank the people listening to us on our podcast We've been ranked to top 10 independent book podcasts in America. We're very grateful about it. It's very humbling. And I could not even find us on the podcast when we first got on podcasts because there's like a million podcasts. So it's hard to find them. Then Aimee did some magic, and even I can now find us on the podcast. Aimee, where can people find us?
Oh, Russell, I'm just grateful that you can find us now, but you can find us anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. So my go-to is Amazon, Spotify. If you have an Apple phone, you can go to iTunes. If you are an Android like me, or Google, go to your Google Play Store. Spotify, Good Pods is another one. Amazon is a really big one. When Josh does choose to listen to me, he listens there. But that's where you can listen to us. We are coming up on 9 years. January will be 9 years. So I feel like when we hit 10 years, we should do some big celebration or something, you guys.
Yes.
We have to start looking into that. You guys, okay.
Can I tell a story about Mickey before we get going?
Oh, yes. Please do.
Now, you know, I've always been mean to Mickey when he's on the show because there's lots of good jokes to tell about Mickey, but I'm not going to tell any of those today because I'm nice. I'm a nice person. I don't tell Valerie she's stupid for cutting her finger or anything else.
Yes.
So, Mickey does an incredible job, right? And I am that. You technically you would say Mickey's working for me, but actually I work for Mickey. Because when Mickey is such a producer that you're constantly day to day having to you have work that you have to do because Mickey has done so much. So a couple of weeks ago, it might have even been last week, Mickey. So there was a magazine interview I was supposed to do. And that meant that I had to do some technical stuff, only technical to me because I'm so low tech. That I had to answer the questions and get them back. And Mickey had to finally call me. He hates calling because I know that takes up too much time. It's unproductive. Finally called me about, Russell, you didn't do this right. And I was like, and I had to confess to him, I can't. I'm too stupid. And I had to basically confess that. And Mickey just kind of laughed. He said, okay, I'll take care of it. And that was the end of it. Mickey does a good job. He does laugh at you a little bit when you're stupid, but
I would
he takes
never
care
call
of
you. I would never call you stupid, Russ.
I called me stupid. Remember? I'm the stupid one.
Misinformed, maybe, but never stupid.
No, low tech. That in 2024, if you're as insufficiently tech as me, that's kind of stupid.
You are a pleasure to work with, my friend. Actually, you and Aimee are both a pleasure to work with. And
okay, that's the nice Mickey.
I appreciate both of you. In fact, I appreciate all three of you, to be honest. And thank you for bringing me on. Yeah. And that'll be the only nice moment I do today. Just know that.
What?
This is only nice moment of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Later, if I don't take care of those 2 interviews he set up.
Oh, we lost.
Oh, no.
Of course, I'll be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be there an hour after you.
No problem.
Okay. No, Mickey, you are like a part of the show, even when you're not on the show, right? So you work with over 100 plus authors, indie, traditionally published, hybrid published, all kinds of realms, right? And you've been doing this for 5 years?
Since 2015, actually, March. So almost 9 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
And so 9? I can't do math, but I never keep track. But it was March of 2015.
Nice. Yeah, because you started part-time and then you went full-time. So you are new to Valerie. So I'm excited that you can be on to kind of dabble into it. But so you guys, Mickey and Russell work together. Me and Mickey work together. We collaborate on a lot of authors. I do the marketing part of it, and Mickey is a publicist. Okay. So just background information. But Mickey, setting it up, because we had this kind of conversation rallying up in the background before, expectations and kind of thoughts going into when you work with a publicist. Now, they all do and have a process that's different than one another. And publicists don't always want to collaborate with other publicists. Okay. Like, let's be real, they don't like to share. Okay. That's just the true statement. No publicist likes to share. So, what are your expectations when you work with a client, and what kind of parameters when you're considering working with a client? What is that process like for you?
It's a lot of communication is key for me. And I mean, the reason I enjoy working with you so much, Aimee, is that you keep me on track when communication falls by the wayside. Authors are highly introverted. Well, some are highly introverted, and they don't like to, or they don't think about proper communication when it comes to releasing books. So the frustrating thing for me is I have a client, they're releasing a new book. I don't find out about it until I go on Facebook and see the book covers out there with a release date of 2 weeks. Well, number one, and excuse my language, what am I going to do with that? It's 2 weeks out. I can't do anything with that. I can't send it to the media. I can't send it to reviewers. I can't do a press release up, or if I am doing a press release, it's going to be very, very, very quickly made. So the quality may not be there. So that's the one aspect that drives me completely batty. Well, there's two, but that's one of them, is proper communication is always key, especially when I have a lot of people I represent. I represent over 100 authors. I represent 7 small press publishers. I represent New York Times bestsellers, USA Today bestsellers, lots of award-winning indies. There's a lot of things in the hat that I have to juggle. And so when I see an author releasing a book on Facebook and not telling me about it, and as a client I represent, it just drives me completely batty because I can't do anything with that book. So that's one aspect from a parameter standpoint. And then the second one is obviously no-shows, because I don't like no-shows. I don't put up with no-shows. In fact, 2 no-shows with a client, their contract is null and void with me, just because it takes time for that. Go ahead, Russell.
That makes me a nervous wreck. Can I tell you? I got to tell you, because podcasts are not as organized as Aimee's. Not all podcasts are as organized as Aimee's. And so every podcast will have their own techniques or their own reminders, or their own time when they send the link. So, and they send their notices, and sometimes they don't even tell you what time zone that they want to interview, or they tell you the wrong time zone. And so I'm constantly concerned about making sure that I know the time, that I have it on the calendar, that I do, like when I practiced law for 41 years, one of the ethics rules in practicing law is you have to have 2 calendars so you don't miss anything.
Yeah.
So I have it set up where I have 2 different calendars, which tell me when I'm supposed to have these shows. And it's very stressful to make sure that there's no misses. It's hard work.
But it's give and take, Russell. So, I mean, the 2 no-show rule is about major media sites. Right. I'm talking about a site like House of Mystery, which is syndicated by NBC, and it's live. You don't want a no-show on a show like that at all. Like, you just don't. And it's happened. I think it happened once in the last 8 years, but it did happen once. So that's something that should never happen, because, I mean, that's they have 2.5 million downloads this year. Why would you want to miss a show like that? That's one case. But if you're looking at an individual podcast who maybe gets 100 views and they're still starting out and they don't have their calendar aspect booked and they're not sending a link out till the very last minute, that's a completely different story. And my rules with authors are the same as podcasts. If a podcast no-shows on one of my clients, I don't work with them anymore. And they lose having all those opportunities with those 100 plus authors. So it goes both ways. Again, it goes back to communication, right? If you think you're going to miss a show, or if you're ill, or if you get the time zone right, I mean, of course we're going to forgive that. But if it becomes a recurring issue, well, that's where I kind of draw the line, because one time is a learning and we can modify around that learning, but we should correct that behavior moving forward. And if I'm wrong, someone needs to tell me, but that's my belief.
No, I don't think you're wrong at all, because you've built relationships and you have a reputation, and you're working really hard to get these bookings. And I mean, I know just from just the networking, the book, all these things, they take time. It doesn't occur just like, out of the sky. And you work so hard, and then if something like that happens, I agree with you 100%, because that's part of your job, and just working on behalf of the author, that's just very inconsiderate. I'm sorry. Just I would
Well,
I know it's just not very professional either.
Well, and thank you, Valerie. And the other thing too is, and this is the one thing that, and I'm not trying to berate my clients, because my clients are very, very good, all of them. But any outsider who I sign on with has to realize that if you're a client of Creative Edge, then you're representing 100 other people as well. You're hurting their branding as well, or you're affecting their branding in a positive manner, because anything you do is going to dramatically affect anything else that everybody else is doing as well. So I have to be, and Aimee calls me anal all the time, and she's right. I'm completely anal when it comes to this stuff.
By the way, so is Aimee about some of her stuff.
Not because I want to be, but because I have to be. If that makes sense.
It's a lot. No, it's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to do, like what you were saying. You've got, all these clients, all these different things you're doing, trying to accomplish. And if it doesn't, don't have that follow through, then it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so me and Russell do this all the time, or me and Mickey also do this all the time. Just to play devil's advocate, right? Because you guys all know I worked with Sandy, who did PR. Me and her did PR for a long time. And then when she retired, we kind of morphed. But then I focused mostly on just book production and book marketing, right? That's my happy spot. My kids were getting older and they needed more of my attention. So how we used to do things, right, is I stand by the like having a limit on no shows and those kinds of things, right? But I can just say, for an example in my life, right? My daughter, earlier this year, she had strep every month, which meant that me or my youngest had strep every month, right? So you can't always prepare for those things, right? And so life happens. And so sometimes, not that you intend to no show. I am notorious. I'm a much better communicator in texting than I am in email. Emails get bogged down. I get 5,000 emails a day. Okay, so emails get bogged down for me. So I'm more of a lenient person on those things. Not if it's going to affect the media relationship. I'm not saying like if it was NBC, and the House of Mystery show, then I would probably be pretty pissed on whoever missed it. Yes, I'm not going to say that. But there is life situations and circumstances that happen, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like an ebb and flow. Those things do happen. Me and Mickey have these kind of conversations all the time.
All the time. And what does Mickey say back to you, Aimee?
I know. He understands. And he
Can you read? Okay. So can I say this or no? Can I say something? Or?
Yes, you can.
It's just us four. We're just having coffee.
So here's a question for everybody here. Can you reach me by email?
Yes.
Can you reach me by Messenger Facebook now? Because I'm now reinstated.
Yes.
Can you text me?
Yes.
So if my kid has strep throat, I'm supposed to be on a podcast, no matter the reach of it. It's a very simple email, messenger, text. Hey, Mickey.
No, I know.
I can't make it today. Can you alleviate this for me and reschedule and explain to the host?
No, I understand that. I'm not saying to no show. So no showing is very unprofessional. Like Valerie said, it is very unprofessional. So I'm not even going to say that. I know that we get upset when people no show, but we have all been friends for a long time that we can just have a show by ourselves. Okay. So I'm not saying to no show. But I am saying, what I am saying is
so entertaining.
Yeah, we can entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to life, right? Yeah. Especially like, if I had written a book, right? And everybody here knows I have a 5 and a 4-year-old, right? So my life is chaotic. I mean, you can hear my one in the background right now, and I can't even get a sentence out, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is you should alert and let you know those things. But there are circumstances. Like I'm going to be 100 completely honest with you. When my daughter broke her arm and we were in the ER till 3 a.m, I was not thinking about sending an email saying I wasn't going to be there. because
understand that.
all those things. So life happens and things happen. So what I'm trying to say is Mickey is not just one that's like, I don't care and just cuts you off. Okay.
No,
because
I'm not
he
like that.
generally talks to Aimee and we have compassion and we'll do all these things. Okay. So it's one of those things, but you have to, I think the gist of it is if you're going to be an author, and Russell and Valerie can attest to this, you are an entrepreneur. You got to go get your hustle on. So if you have someone that's in your corner like me or Mickey, then it's kind of the same. We are advocating for you and pitching you and getting you different marketing opportunities and media opportunities and all those things. You have to take them seriously and do to others what you want done unto yourself, right? Like that is the golden rule all of us live by. So it's one of those things, but it's not very cut and dry like Mickey makes it sound.
I'm not trying to make it sound as cut and dry. In fact, it's never been cut and dry. And in fact, to be honest, I've never canceled a client for missing 2 no-shows. Are there conversations? Absolutely. But I don't cancel a client. I'm not in the business of canceling clients and losing business. But I do want to change behaviors, if that makes sense.
Okay, can I give the other side of this coin? I don't know how we got on the no shows.
Okay.
I thought
I brought it up, so you can blame me.
I'm going to take this personally. But seriously, though, the other side of that coin is these shows are it's a real honor to be on these shows. I'm talking about the podcast, even with just 100 viewers.
Yep.
Okay. It's a real honor because these people are spending their time in their show that they care about. And I know they care about it because I know how I feel about AuthorTalk. And so it's important to me to not only be there, be early, make sure that everything goes right, but to be good on the show because it's important. And it's discourteous to not do that. And yes, it's more than just being professional. It's being courteous. And so I know none of us would want to be that way. And the other side of the coin on what Aimee said a while ago is Aimee can be relaxed, but Aimee can give you a phone call and say, shape up.
She has done that multiple times.
She could do that.
She has done that multiple times to me. Absolutely, she can.
Yes, I have done that. Yes, I've had to do that for sure. The sweet little innocent Aimee that you guys get on here is 100% how I am all the time. I don't let these people fool you. I am just sweet and peachy all day.
Well, remember, we do have a section of our show called Pissed Off Aimee.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So that's actually
never again.
I'm very
so
nice.
on another note, Mickey, can you just tell us like overall what you do as a publicist for an author? Because some people might not be aware, like if they're like, what do I need a publicist? I mean, okay, so he's booking people on shows, but what else do you do?
So I set up interviews on TV, podcasts, radio. I get book reviews. I get guest posts in magazines. I arrange for magazine covers. It's all about the traditional media scope for everybody. So traditional authors, indie authors. I represent a couple of musicians as well. And a couple of my authors are also actors. So it's all about the traditional media scope around all of that. I don't forecast reach. I have lots of indie authors who say, what's the reach of this show or what's the reach of that show? And I say, if you have a strong social media presence, the reach doesn't really matter. The point is getting your media resume out there and building it up and starting small and then leveraging the medium to large opportunities, because that's how you're going to build up your base. It might take 2 months, it might take 6 months, it might take a year. But if you work long-term with someone such as myself, you should and will have success. So, yeah.
Also, as a publicist, you're doing a lot of the legwork and everything, but like the author also has responsibility, like of course showing up to these things you're booking. But however, what other responsibilities does the author have, just like doing their part to, I guess, work with you and maximize all your outreach to through the media and to the public, like you were saying, maybe they need to like bump up their game on social and bump up, all these things in communication. What are your suggestions on that?
I focus a lot around the branding of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
The book, and this is an unpopular comment, but it's really a true comment. The book is actually secondary to what I do. Book sales are going to be things like what Aimee does: social media, ad campaigns, BookBub sales, all of that. The media aspect, they're more in tune with what the individual is doing. So we work really, really hard to try to build up the branding of the individual specifically. It's a lot easier when the author actually takes that branding seriously. And what I mean by that is getting a decent book cover for their book, getting it properly edited, having a decent headshot for themselves instead of just giving me a selfie and letting me try to pitch that, having a proper bio, things like that. So it's all about branding of the individual. You asked me a question, so I'm going to say this. I use the Beatles as an example for that really, really strongly. Because when the Beatles started, their image sucked. When they were in Hamburg and they weren't in the suits and they were like not great, their image was not very, very good. When they signed with Brian Epstein, he pretty much changed their entire image. The music was always there. It was always, always there. They didn't actually get famous until their branding and image was completely changed. So that's the example I always use.
So do you guide an author to help them develop a brand of themselves, or do they come to you and like, I'm a really good mystery author, but and then you're like, let's figure this out, or how does that happen?
Yeah, so and Aimee knows this because she's had conversations in meetings with potential clients. Mm-hmm. Some of the questions that we ask is, we want to see your book cover. We want to see that the book's been properly edited. If they're coming to us with a handmade book cover and their image, again, their headshot is a selfie and they haven't got a website and their bio is not good, I'm not going to sign that individual because I can't market it. We want to work with authors who have invested in themselves, who understand that branding is just as important as actually getting a book out there and writing it out, and also have the mindset that I don't need to write a book every single month to be successful. Because for the most part, authors who do that, unless you're in the romance scape, are not successful. And the books aren't very, very good because they're not taking the time properly to make them out there. I only want to work with authors typically who will have 2 releases a year at most. When you look at a traditional author, I represent New York Times bestseller Tosca Lee, who's published through all the traditional scopes. We promote 1 book to 2 books a year tops. And that's what she's writing a year. And they're all done very, very, very well. And she's successful as a result of that. So those are some of the things that I look for and execute. And you need to kind of abide with that because we've had many conversations with authors around that. But if you're doing handmade covers and things like that, it's likely that they're not very good for the most part.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just about investing in yourself and investing in your product, and then all of the other parts and pieces come together, like hiring somebody to write your bio, hiring somebody to illustrate your cover, or all that stuff. It's an investment. It's not just the book.
Exactly. Because, and to your point, Valerie, if they're doing handmade covers and they're not investing from the editing standpoint, and they're using a selfie that looks like a selfie for their headshot, how are they going to conduct themselves in an interview if I do book them? Really? True. So it's all about that aspect.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I feel like there's differences though, because I've worked with authors and I've had authors on that have either had AI create their covers, or they just are a graphic designer and they create it. And some covers can look, and this is very genre specific. So do not take this as if I am saying that it's okay for your cover to look handmade. I'm not saying that. But some genres that is appropriate, like young adult, some of their books within certain subcategories of a young adult fiction genre, it is okay. So my daughter brought home a book. This is, she's in kindergarten. Okay. But the cover was very like a caricature. It looked very hand drawn and stuff like that. So children's and young adult, depending on the genre that you write underneath that, like category or whatever, it is appropriate to have those, right? So you have to really know what your genre is and what they're looking for. The younger the ones are going to kind of want those. But like, look at Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I mean, those covers do look, they are very much handmade, right? So you have to know that. And then if it's something that you feel really strongly about, it's one of those that I'm always open to have those. I know Mickey's open to have those and kind of see your vision. We always make recommendations. So it's not like we're just going to be like, oh, your cover is crap, we're not working. No, it's not like that. Okay. It's very much like we're going to give you recommendations on what we see in the industry for your genre or subcategory, subgenre, whatever that you write in. We're going to make you recommendations. We're going to send you recommendations for that. If not, I'm going to show you and introduce you to Dina, and she can tell you all about why you need to enhance your cover, right? And so it's more kind of those things, but some genres will do really well with like a hand created cover. Okay. So it's not that they all have to be perfect and precise and everything, but I will say that whichever avenue you go, whether you are traditionally published or you do self-publish, which y'all know I love self-published authors. That's my thing. It is like an investment in yourself, right? And so the thing that I always tell authors in our conversations back when me and Sandy were doing PR and Russell or Mickey doing PR, and I'm the person that gets to do all the partying. I get to celebrate all the time, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. But it's when you write a book and you're going to take this leap and jump off this ledge and put it out for people to read, you have to invest in yourself to give that book the best opportunity that you can. Because if not, then it's just going to be a failure because you didn't back it behind it. Now, if you just want to write a book and get your book out and you don't care about sales, you don't care if people read it, you can do that. You can totally upload and make it. And there's enough information out there for you to do that, right? But if it's something that you really feel like is impactful or it's a really creative story and you want to get it out there and get your message out there and do all those things, you have to invest in yourself like any good thing, right? So it's, one of those things, but it's not cut and dry. We're not going to be like, oh, you're just crap. Your writing is crap.
No,
We're not.
We don't do that.
It's definitely not like that. Now, I will tell you from experience, because I get asked this question, I don't even know, in an email or in a phone conversation, why do I need a publicist? Why do I need a marketer? Why do I need both together? Okay, so Mickey can help in this department. I'm going to summarize it, and then he can give you your 2 cents, because it is the most common question. I'm sure you guys have had these questions too at some point in time in your writing career. So a publicist is going to do everything that Mickey said. They're going to book you on media. They're going to get you written articles, hopefully going to get you book festivals and book conferences for you to speak at or have a table out or something, library tours, those kinds of things, right? Traditional, physical, sometimes things. A book marketer is going to convey all of that online for you. We're going to enter you into book awards so you don't have to. We're going to make sure that your audience knows where the hell you are, what you're doing, what awards you are winning, right? What reviews you're getting, celebrating you so you can write your book, right? So if you have those things together, because some are like, well, I can do one and then one later on down the road. You can do that very much. And like budget conscious and stuff, I'm total advocate for that. They're stronger together because one feeds the other. So Mickey getting you media opportunities, speaking engagements, all of those things feed whoever's doing your marketing content for you, right? The more that you emphasize the media opportunities that you've had, the press releases that have been posted, written articles that you've done, the more the media sees it, the more engagement, and you may even get offers to be on media that you have to redirect to Mickey because of those things. If you wait and you have a whole plethora of these things, you don't put them on your website, you don't put them out, and then you put them out at a later date, you've missed that window of opportunity, right? So that's why sometimes they're better to work together. Budget reasons and stuff, you can do them separate, but that's how one feeds the other, right? So my marketing would feed media opportunities for Mickey for his client and further clients, and then his media opportunities feed content for me, right? So that's why one goes with the other. Now, Mickey is not going to like that I'm going to say this, and so I'm sure we'll have a conversation at a later date.
Russell, we'll bring you into that conversation. It's okay.
Yeah, I will tell you.
I do not need to be rebuked by both of you in the same day. I average once a week by the both of you. That's enough.
I am very kind and loving to you, Russell.
Those are the worst phone calls when you're being kind and rebuking. That's the worst phone calls of all.
Kill them with kindness, you guys. I'm an advocate for that. Oh my goodness. Now, you can do one or the other by yourself. And what I say is, yes, you may not have the media connections that me or Mickey have. True. Mm-hmm. You may not be as skill set and honed in on your genre as I may be for marketing, right? But if you're trying to save money, but you still want to get your books out there and you want to do it yourself, there are resources and things that you can do. Russell is not going to agree with me. No one on this
I do not agree with this. I don't agree. And you know, I think I know everything. So let me just say, there's no way I could do what either one of you do. I couldn't do it.
Well,
you could, but probably not as intricate.
I wouldn't do it.
Well,
and
it's just
I wouldn't be able to do anything else, and it wouldn't be done right. And it's like Valerie, you know, when you were trying to outline how he builds all these relationships and stuff. So if there was a no-show, it would affect his all that. There's no way you can build that stuff. That's part of what you're paying for when you deal with Mickey and Aimee. You're trying to be a part of the large relationship structure that these two have built. There's no way you can do that.
Now,
I think you can, but just not as effective. That's my opinion.
So you very much can. And the reason that I say this to people is, one, if it's a budget thing and all of those things, then you could take the time to learn free things to do it yourself, right? And to save money. But I will tell you a lot of the things that I hear on those, because I'm an open book. You can email me questions and I will answer them. Like, I have no problem educating you in how to do things. I don't mind doing that. I want you to be educated and feel empowered to do it yourself at some point, right? But it is going to take you more time than it would take me or Mickey to do it, right? Because you have to learn and doing all those things. And when you're pitching yourself to media, they do prefer to hear from a publicist rather than the author themselves. You're taken more seriously. I will say those things. But if, you know, it's not in your budget or your wheelhouse yet or anything like that, you can do these things yourself. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. You can. They will not be done at the beginning the most effective that they can be, and it will take you a lot more time. So the less writing you will be able to do, but it is something that you can do yourself. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there. You can build relationships with media outlets if you really want to. You can go and market and find promotional groups and stacking and all of those things. You can do all of those things yourself. It's just going to take you a lot longer, and it will end up costing you more, not necessarily money, but time. And so your books that you're wanting to write will get further and further put off, right? So that's just it in a nutshell. So yeah, it's just a fun time. And there's a bunch of different people out there that do it, and will hit different price points for sure.
Yeah,
man.
I agree with you, Aimee. I agree with you.
Oh my gosh.
To a point.
I don't. I think she's completely wrong.
No, I agree. Okay. I agree with her to a point, but do we have time? Can I say this or no?
Yeah.
You can definitely market yourself, and you can do everything that me and Aimee do as an individual, provided you have the knowledge on how to properly pitch that. Because some media outlets won't talk to an author. They will either talk to the publisher, they'll talk to the agent, they will talk to the publicist. They will not hear pitches from the author directly. And some of those are very, very mainstream sites. So you can definitely pitch yourself to a podcast that has a reach of 100 people. But if you haven't got a social media presence, that interview is not going to do anything anyways, because it's not going to be shared out. So those are all things to think about if you're doing that. If you want to save some money or you can't afford it, I get it. And as Aimee said, you can do this. but you have to have an understanding of what the media, from my perspective, what the media want, what they look for, and how to effectively pitch. Because sending out a press release on a mass email to 100 sites is not going to work. Using a newswire to get the word out there for your book as an individual, again, is not going to effectively work. That's my opinion. So you have to be able to.
Expensive.
What's that?
There's like stupid expensive, and newswires like EIN newswire,
and no one
they're
sees it
like
anyways, and no one sees it, or the internal people who see it will not action it, especially if you're a brand new debut author with no basis for anything. They're not going to even look at it. So these are the kind of things that if an author is going to do these themselves, they have to have that understanding and know how to properly do this, or they're not going to be effective anyways.
Yeah,
I've said my pitch.
It'll be a learning curve for sure. But I feel like you can write a book. You can what is it? You can go down that learning curve if you can write a book, right?
Then again, that takes time away from your actual writing as well.
It does, it does. But I want to pivot to Amy's pissed off segment because Russell really loves these, and
Mickey needs to leave now. Sorry. Anyway, just saying.
I feel like he's really.
It may not be about Mickey this particular week. We've heard about Mickey in the past, but
here we go.
It's not about Mickey. I think Russell
there's
really
a first.
gonna enjoy this one. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. So you know how Russell warned me when you build a house. Okay, I'm gonna.
I tried to tell you.
I told you he was gonna love this one. Okay, so we're gonna go over time on this one because it's important. So you guys all know when I closed on my house, they had an addendum of things that they had to fix, right? And it's not going towards. It's not going towards my warranty or anything like that. It's things that they had to fix, right? Okay, I was cool. I'm a calm, cool, collected person to an extent. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, my warranty guy decided to stop writing me unless I hounded him. And I can be very passive aggressive at times. I don't like confrontation, but I'm not afraid of it. Okay, I'm not afraid to do it. So last week, a bunch of stuff got done because your girl was on him like white on rice. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I was sending text messages like, "Hey, you never answered the above, and it's 5:30. I was supposed to get a response this afternoon." The next day, "Hey, you never gave me my answer." So now I've gotten a lot of things done. Okay. Fast forward to last Friday. Okay. One, I wasn't feeling necessarily the best. My IC was kicking up that day, so I wasn't necessarily in the best of moods. But when you have, like, when you're building a house and stuff and you pick stain and stuff, you have to pay extra out of pocket for those things. My stain on my front door, I have lived in my house since June 11th. It is September, okay? Is cracking. The stain on my front door is cracking. It's like, 3 months? So needless to say, Aimee was not a very happy person, okay? When my painters come and they were only doing the inside, they weren't fixing my stain. Now, Aimee is a very smart person, okay? I don't look it, but I am. I was in my attic the other day looking at all the names of the paints and stains and going through my binder that they gave me of all of my selections. Lo and behold, the stain that's in my attic is not my selected stain. Now, I do like it, but it is not what I paid for. Okay, so the painter comes.
Russell told you this would happen.
I know. That's why I know you're really going to like this one. So my warranty guy comes, my painter comes, and my painter's kind of standoffish. He didn't really want to come to my house, right? Because I'm sure it's written all over my face just how pissed I am. Okay, and so my warranty guy leaves, and he's like, "Man, they're only going to do the interior. I know about this stain. We're all going to have to address it, blah, blah, blah." Cool. All right. Cool. I can be petty. And I was like, well, that's the only reason I'm throwing this fit. And then I went back to cleaning my kitchen and let Josh talk to him. Right. So then he leaves. Everyone leaves. It's just me and the painter. And he did not want to come to my house because he knew how upset I was. And he was taking it personally. Now, listen, nothing else makes me mad than when it's about the job, not the person. Okay, it's not a personal thing on how you stained. It's not you as a painter. I don't want you to stain my thing. It's not anything like that. It's what the quality of the work was not met with what I paid for. right?
Mhm.
So that's what I was upset about. But I don't like being swept under the rug and you only talk to Josh. I will harass you. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I will harass you, but I will get what I paid for. Because when I pay out money, I'm expecting like the results to be of value to that dollar and what I picked out. And it's not what I picked out, which we have all come to agree that the painter just decided to change the color because he was more familiar with that color. And so, you guys, it galls my soul to say this. And it's the only time I'm going to say it, but it's recorded so Russell can replay it. Russell was right that there are some issues when you build a house. So make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's and don't be a nice person when they build your house. Okay? Be aggressive and firm.
I concur.
Yeah.
Yes, and see, firm. That was a nice way of saying it. So you're aggressive and firm.
Yeah, I was, which I learned from Russell because me and Russell are like the same person, just in different bodies. But yes, if you're watching us, you can all tell how ecstatic Russell is the fact that I just gave him credit for this whole thing. And I also have another bone to pick because my painters were supposed to come today and finish, and they have not come today. So
it's early. It's early yet.
Fun time. So Aimee's pissed off segment continues. You guys.
That made me so happy. I'm so happy today. I'm going to be happy all day.
Yes.
I'm glad I can
My final question is, Aimee, would you and Nikki both tell people how that are listening how they can reach out to the two of you?
Sure, Mickey, you go ahead.
Okay. So you can email me at mickey.creativeedge@gmail.com. I do have a website, www.creativeedge-services. And I'm on Facebook, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, you mostly know how to get a hold of me. Send me a direct message. Go over to my website, fill out the contact form on there. Or if you're feeling, lucky, you can email me, aimee@abundantlysocial.com. I will tell you, most people, when they just listen on how to email me, end up going to my website because how you spell my first name is challenging. So AIMEE is how you spell my name at abundantlysocial.com, and I will be the one answering you. But we have gone over on time, and I'm surprised that Russell has not just given me an ugly stare, but I think he really likes
You don't really interrupt piss off Aimee. So
I was
when
like,
she
no,
goes into
he's
that
not going to
segment,
say
you have to
anything.
No,
I just want to say thank
him
you all.
credit. That's
I just
why
want to say, I just want to say thank you all for having me again today. It was a pleasure as always. And Russell, you were very nice to me today. I appreciate that.
Yes, I have to be nice to you now because I know there's a list of work at 5 o'clock every morning because you get up at 4 and by 5 o'clock in the morning when I get up and start working on it, I know there's a list of stuff I have to do. So I have to be nice.
Oh my goodness. Well, Mickey, you know that you're always welcome here. You are a part of the Author Talk family for sure.
It was nice to officially meet you, Valerie, too.
You guys, well, if you're here in Texas, I hope that you stay cold because it's hot. Russell, I'm jealous that you're cold. And Mickey,
So jealous.
Is it snowing there yet, Mickey?
Not yet. Soon to come. I'm just getting my fill of Canadian football and not cheering on the Cowboys. So, hey, that's how it goes.
Nobody cheers on the Cowboys here.
No. But you guys have a great Monday, a great rest of your week. And until next Monday, bye for now, everybody.